how to get your first 5 inquiries as a virtual assistant, even if you have no experience. This is something that comes up all the time in my inbox, so I just wanted to get into it. So the first thing that you need to do if you are serious about setting up a virtual assistant business is you actually need to get what I call client ready. So this means you have to set up a legitimate business, otherwise no one will take you seriously. And what is involved in this is things like picking a business name, registering it in the country that you're a tax resident, getting a professional email address, getting a business bank account, getting a contract set up, getting things ready for when you get inquiries. For example, setting up a calendar like Calendly and Zoom so people can have discovery calls when they are inquiring to work with you. All of this needs to be done. There's other small things as well, but these are the main things for anyone to take you seriously. That's kind of like phase 1 business building mode. That usually takes, like I said, there's a couple steps that I've left out that are just, smaller things. I would say a couple of weeks alongside full-time employment. Obviously less time if you are doing your business full-time. The next thing you need to do is put yourself out there. And this is going to be how you essentially get your first 5 inquiries. So putting yourself out there can include a lot of different ways. And to be honest, it truly doesn't matter which platform you choose, but you need to put yourself out there. So what I generally recommend to our students in our community is that you start a basic social media page. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy to begin with. You don't need crazy social media skills to begin with, but you need to have basic information about you, why you started your business, and your face on the page. So, ideally your face on the page is what we recommend for just an easier turnaround. The reason for this is one of the girls inside of our program today just texted me saying that she has an in-person coffee with someone who's interested in working with her because she shared a reel of her introducing herself and her services literally yesterday or the day before. She didn't want to do it, it was uncomfortable, but she's already got an inquiry. So my point here is that visibility will get you inquiries, and this isn't the first time this has happened. So while we were on the note of making your basic social media page, we recommend that you share it with your community. And that might be your friends, your family, your extended family. It might be your, mum's group you're a part of, your gym that you're a part of. Ask people to share it and spread the word. You'd be surprised when you've got good people in your life, people are more than happy to share what you're working on. That's also one way to get inquiries. So now we have your social media page being one way, your personal network being one way. Then you have Facebook groups. This is something that the students in our community have got so much traction on in the past few weeks because we ran a visibility challenge on posting in Facebook groups in order to put yourself out there and get your first inquiries. And there's a few ways you can do this, but you can put, you can offer a couple hours, we generally recommend 2 hours of free work to a few businesses in order to get inquiries, to practice your discovery calls, to practice sending over proposals, to practice actually working with businesses and seeing what businesses actually want help with, because there's no point in learning every skill under the sun until you know what demand is out there. So Facebook groups can be a really good source of this. And not only do you build your confidence, you build your experience. One of the girls was instantly like, I don't want to offer social media management, I hate it. And she realized this from putting herself out there and getting inquiries. And this is exactly what you want to do. You want to eliminate things you don't want to do and figure out things and services that you do want to offer. And then 2 of the girls inside of our community landed their first paying client as a result of doing the free work and putting those messages in Facebook groups. So Facebook groups is such a great way to generate inquiries, to build your network, to build your community. I encourage everyone to do that who's serious about starting their business. Then you can also use the email outreach method. This is where you would use ChatGPT to generate a list of local businesses in your area. You would then have a prompt where you would feed it to ChatGPT, get it to customize emails to send to them, and then you would send out multiple emails every single day to local businesses, introducing yourself, your services, your connection to the business, your connection to the area. And again, you would be surprised how many people will be like, oh my God, cool, and get back to you. And that also then brings in inquiries. So at the end of the day, there is multiple ways to get visible. That is just a couple of the methods that we teach. But at the end of the day, you have to get visible. You have to be willing to put yourself out there, whether that is going to in-person networking events, getting involved with the local enterprise board and all the events that they have going on, going to the women circles, coffee mornings. It truly doesn't matter. But you have to tell people about your business. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to get your first 5 inquiries, because obviously the more inquiries you get, the more opportunities you're going to get for them to land as paying clients. And while I understand getting visible is the hard part, because I have no doubt that you are super skilled. The women that come into our world, super skilled at what they do. Everyone's got this far in life, no one's skillless. But the visibility and putting yourself out there part can be difficult. But when you push through that, there is so much opportunity on the other side of that once you are willing to persevere. And I think, again, this is a really important thing. One of the girls, she actually works on our team, and she had mentioned to me that she put 100 messages in a Facebook group and had felt a bit defeated that she'd got nothing back. And then I think it was like the next 10 that she'd done, she got multiple inquiries. So it just goes to show, it's just like that you can feel frustrated when things aren't happening fast or as instant as you want it to be. But what matters the most is that you persevere and you push past that, because when you push past that, it's truly a numbers game. In this industry, you probably only need like 5-6 clients max to make a full-time income. Depends on your income goals, of course, and how many hours each client wants you working with them for. But you're not looking for 100 clients. You don't need to have an influencer size social media page. You don't need to be, the best person on social media, amazing at reels. None of this matters. I was fully booked and I had a couple of 100 followers, and even my page now, our business model is so different. So make sure you don't compare yourself as a beginner virtual assistant or an aspiring virtual assistant to a page like mine, because my business model is different now. When I was a virtual assistant, my priorities were just building connections, building community, networking, telling everyone about my business, whether that was through Instagram and Facebook groups were the primary methods that I used, and was able to get fully booked using those 2 methods. So we generally recommend that you focus on like 2 methods at a time, so you're not too overwhelmed. Build out your Instagram page, build out your skills. That will act as your portfolio. People will be able to see information about you, your services, your background. You'll get your reviews on there. That will be your little like business home, your business shop front. And you can share that with anyone that you meet in person. Again, another one of the ladies in our community, she's actually graduating this week. But her first ever client was 2 weeks after she started working with us, because she went to get a massage and she told the lady about her business, and that lady hired her and also referred her to 3 other clients. So this lady got 4 clients really, really, really fast because she was willing to tell people about her business. So no matter where you are, actually another one of our students got a client from for 10 hours a week, so a 40-hour month, so like a big package. It was a guy who came to fix her balcony, and she was just chatting to him, told him about what she was doing, and he was like, oh, I need someone to help me with like the admin and stuff, I'm terrible at it. So tell every man and his dog, literally anyone who will listen, when you're out and about, at your hair appointments, at your nail appointments, walking your dog to see the neighbours, don't be afraid to be like, I've started a business, this is what I do. And if someone asks you what you do, you go to a networking event, start with what your business. Don't start with your career or what you're doing now, or if you're a stay-at-home parent, start practicing out loud, saying, I'm a virtual assistant, this is what I do, I'm an admin assistant, I'm a social media assistant, and I started this business. If you ever hear of anyone looking for help, please send them my way. People are very kind by nature, and people will send work your way. I get referrals all the time from people I've just chatted to on Instagram and built connections with. This was the same with my virtual assistant business, and people would send people my way because we had built an online relationship. So it truly is about building connections and building community. So I hope that was helpful, and if you follow all of those steps and stick with it, and I'm not saying post in 5 Facebook groups and post and hope for the best, or send 5 emails and hope for the best. I'm talking about posting in hundreds of Facebook groups, sending hundreds of emails, on Instagram, replying to people's stories, following people, and starting hundreds of conversations. And this is over multiple weeks and months. You don't have to do it all in one day or all in one week, but you do have to do a lot of putting yourself out there if you want to generate a full-time income. But it is absolutely possible, and it's exactly what a lot of the girls in our community come to us to get. They want to build it as a side hustle. With a lot of people want to do it as a full-time job in the end, so it's really exciting them, helping them get to that point. So if you are someone who is looking to take the next step, if you just DM me the word academy, I'll give you information on the next steps. And if you are someone who is here live, I'd love to know if you have any questions or any takeaways from it. And also just thanks guys for coming live. Always so nice when people come live and I'm not chatting to no one. Love it. Cool. And if you are watching the replay and you have a question or a takeaway, if you just leave it in the comments section, I will answer as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much.